Hey guys, it's Ron Bass with the new edition of the Ron Bass Talk Show.
Not another edition.
It's your source for meeting interesting people.
Yes.
And to learn all about them and how they tick.
Where are the interesting people
how
getting
they
here?
tick.
I don't know. They're in line.
Interesting people get here, Ron.
They're in line.
You guys are here, and guess what? Brent Atterbury is our producer.
Okay.
Howdy.
And Mr. Marketing Guru himself.
Yes.
Okay.
And a very special guest today.
Very special.
Mr. Cody Lemons,
Special.
martial artist extraordinaire. Yes. Woo. So Cody is a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Get it? Interesting.
Who decided that?
Yeah, and he's going to talk to us today about all kinds of different things, including his martial arts career. But first, I'd like to ask him just a little bit about his past.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Like, tell us a little bit about your childhood.
About my childhood.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I think it's interesting to figure out how you became who you became today.
Yeah.
We'll start at the beginning.
Yeah. So, like, if you're talking about martial arts.
No, I'm talking
Oh,
about your
hey,
beginning.
Cody.
Just very as a
Cody.
child.
Cody,
What-
Mike's got to play.
Huh?
We got to put Mike
We
on.
gotta put
Sorry,
Mike on.
my bad. They can't hear
You did
you.
all that?
Yeah, they heard you,
They
but
heard you.
it's like you're whispering.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Anyway,
Like up here?
it doesn't matter. You can just clip it on anywhere on your shirt. Anywhere. It doesn't have to,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can just pinch your shirt and just clip it. There you go.
Okay.
You're good now.
Hey, Mike's
Okay.
on.
Mike's on.
Okay.
So your childhood.
Okay. It's hard to sum up because there was so much to happen.
I know. You've had a very interesting life. of
Yeah.
course. I've known you a long time.
Yeah. Well.
By the way, Cody's also my martial arts coach in our martial arts school here in Springfield, Missouri.
Well, growing up, right, I went to like 10 different elementaries. We moved once every 6 months
why was
or a
that?
year. I think there's a lot of reasons. Like my mom, she was kind of used to that lifestyle. You know, my grandpa, he was in the military and he was a truck
Your grandpa was
driver.
in the military.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly why, but we just moved a ton.
That's not exactly normal to be moving that often.
No. But
How did that affect your attitude? How did that affect you as a child?
oh man, I had a hard time making friends. Like I
Makes
would
sense.
Yeah, I would just move from. You think I'd be good at it because I had to redo it so many times.
Yeah.
But I just
Probably was
moved from.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I moved from place to place to place and place. I'm like, okay, now we got to start all over. But sometimes we move back to the same places, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I know some of you guys, you know. But oh Mac, hey, yeah. But moved around a lot, and worked really hard from a young age. Like,
When you say work, you mean you had jobs?
no, not necessarily jobs, but my uncle, he would do all these like side jobs, like because he was on disability, and he would drag me along, and we would just do all kinds of
Like
stuff.
handyman stuff?
Yeah,
Oh.
like cutting down. Like I was like 10, and he would have me climb up in a tree, and he'd like cut down that branch, and it'd be like 20 feet up there, and I'd be like, okay, and I would climb up there with a bow saw, and like,
So at
you know
a
what I
young
mean?
age, you really weren't afraid of much of anything, sounds like.
And he didn't have a license,
License.
so we rode bikes and walked everywhere.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just actually, at the time, I didn't tell my friends about any of this stuff, right? Because I was embarrassed by it,
Interesting.
by a lot of the things that I did, as a kid. But now I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right, because it
Yeah.
molded you into
Yeah.
who you've
No.
become today.
No, it was great. It was great. We went to the woods like every single weekend to go fishing.
Okay.
Look for rocks. We did these odd jobs during the week to kind of like fund.
What age were you when you did all this?
Oh, started really young.
Like 5,
Yeah,
10?
yeah,
5 years old?
yeah,
Wow.
That's pretty interesting.
yeah. I was started very young. Yeah, and so yeah, it was definitely different. Like we
So
did.
then as you went through grade school, then in high school you did some interesting things, if I remember. Like you got involved in some sport things, if I remember
I
correctly.
played soccer for a year, but I was always into skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
Yeah, I was always into skateboarding.
That's what I'm trying to get.
Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yeah.
I was always into skateboarding, you know, and
what was your influence?
but then I got really hardcore into it about 8th or 9th
What was
grade.
your influence to get into skateboarding?
Oh, well, when I was younger, my uncle, when I was like 4 years old.
Back to your
4.
uncle.
Yeah, different uncle.
Oh, different.
Different uncle. On my mom's side, when I was about 4 years old, he bought me and his son a skateboard, and we would ride it up and down the sidewalk when I was like 4. So I started skating when I was
Really young.
4 years old, very young, and I skated off and on all the way, you know, up until I was about 8th grade, and that's when I just literally skated like every single day.
And got really, really good at it.
Well, I got okay at it. I had friends who were really good at it, and got okay. When I was like 18 or 19, and I finally was like, okay, I'm actually getting pretty decent at this. I got injured really bad.
You hurt yourself.
Yeah, I heel flipped off of this ledge that's taller than me over a couch, and I landed it, and my ankle or my foot touched my leg,
Ouch.
and my foot swelled up, and I had to like cut my shoe off, and I didn't skate for a whole year, and that kind of like changed my trajectory. I then slowed up on the skateboarding, but I did do some surfing later. My surfboard hangs in my living room.
So what
Now,
state
though,
were you
'cause
in
there's no
what
ocean
state
around
were you
here.
in when you surfed in California?
Huh?
You were
Yeah.
in California.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was in the Marines.
So let's talk about how you wound up going to the military. How did all this like put you in a mindset to where you wanted to join the military? And then let's talk about. Talk about your Marine Corps experience.
Yeah. So I was definitely not in any mindset that was going to lead me there. Like I had a friend. He super duper smart guy, but he was partying a little bit in college, and you know, he started making bad grades, and then he kind of flunked out or something like that.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I invited him on this hunting trip randomly. We'd never been hunting together before.
Okay.
I've never even took anybody hunting to my grandpa's besides that wasn't family besides
Okay.
him. And so he went, and then he was like, hey man, you know, he told me, he's like, I signed up for the Marines. I was like, are you crazy? Like, why? And then he told me what kind of happened and why he signed up for it. And then he was like, you should come talk to the recruiter. And I was like, no way.
No way.
No way. And then after the weekend, we kept talking about it. We even watched some like little documentary about like a survival school in the Marines randomly on TV when we were hunting. And I was like, he was like, it won't hurt to go talk to him. I was like, okay, I'll go talk to him. I was like, there's no way they're going to talk me into joining. And after I was there for like an hour or two, I was like, you know, I kept getting more sucked in. And then eventually, you know, just another step, you know, go to maps. You still don't have to go all the way. You know what I mean? And then, but my recruiter, I tried to ditch out on him.
Oh,
I tried to ditch out on him.
Hear this story.
Yeah, I tried to skip out on him. I was supposed to go to MEPS, and I was supposed to go to the recruiting station, and and I didn't show up. I was like nervous. I was like scared to go. Well, yeah, well, you know, we don't call it that in the Marines, but I think that's like an Army term, but freaking.
Same idea.
Well, anyways,
So how did they find
the bus was supposed to leave at like 6 p.m. or I don't remember. Well, you know, he had my address, so he showed up to my house at like 1 in the
Showed up at
morning,
your house.
1 or 2 in the morning.
Wow, now that's dedication.
Yeah, and he was like, so I thought he was just gonna knock on the door and just leave, and
That wasn't the case.
no, he knocked on the door, knocked on the door, knocked on the door, knocked on the door. He like knew I was there or something. He'd knock, and my mom, she's like, what do you want me to do? I was like, don't answer the door.
Don't answer the door.
And so she he kept knocking. Bang. Then he started knocking on the windows.
Wow. This
Like,
guy was determined.
he's bold. You know what I mean?
Recruiter.
Bold, right? So,
Wow.
yeah, I don't know if you really needed me to make a quota or what. But,
That's wild.
but he was like,
He's done this before.
yeah, maybe. I bet he probably had, right? He had experience with this sort of thing, right? Anyway, so he kept knocking, and my mom was like, "You got to tell him something." Okay, so I opened the door, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Man, I broke down. And I was kind of honest with him. I'm scared. You know what I mean? I'm nervous about going."
Yeah, who wouldn't be?
Yeah. And, I really don't want to do it anymore. And he was just like, "No, I'm telling you, this is going to be the best thing for your
It's
life.
going to change your life.
This is going to change your life for the best. I promise you." He was like, and this is how he sold it to me too, is because he was like, "Until you actually leave and get on the plane, you can always say no." Right? That's what he told me.
Wow.
Up until you get to boot camp, then you're not really obligated
Right.
by anything yet.
So that gave you kind of a way out.
Yeah, it gave me a way out still. So I was like,
went ahead
okay,
and-
I still have a way out if I don't want to do it up until this point. So I was like, okay, I'll go no step further. Went to MEPS. They give you that crazy physical where they make you bend over and all that crap, and and you take it ASVAB and all that stuff.
So you went to the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
and then tell us how you wound up over in. Well, I'll let you tell them.
Okay.
You wound up overseas.
Oh yeah, I think if you joined during this time, you were like,
This is like 10 years ago.
yeah, even
15
if you
years
were
ago.
like even if you were like an S1 guy or like a clerk or whatever you were, a cook, you're like almost guaranteed to like go overseas. Like,
Didn't you wind up in a special forces unit?
that
That was pretty wild.
yeah. So
In Afghanistan.
they
right?
sent, I was at my job school, and I was there for a long time too. At my job school, waiting for my job school to pick up, and all I did was just lift weights. I lift weights. I was training like a professional athlete, basically. I didn't go out like everybody else and eat pizza and crap. I only ate.
worked out.
Yeah, I just worked out. I literally beat everybody at everything. Like every time we ran, every time we did like a morning workout, and we were doing morning workouts, and then I was working out at night, and then I was reading books.
Working out all the time.
Reading books, working out, that's it, man. And living like a professional athlete or something,
Well,
and
you are a
so,
professional athlete.
and so, one of the guys kind of running the school, he was like, I have they were kind of asking people, East Coast, West Coast, like where you want to go. And then he came to me and he was like, "I have a special place for you to go." And I was like, "Oh yeah?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so, but I don't think that happened to everybody. I think that went to this unit, they just pulled random people too, right? But at my school, one of the guys came
You
to
did
me.
some really interesting physical fitness things. Tell us a little bit about the swimming and the hiking and what you were able to do that most people couldn't even fathom.
What do you mean?
They would be able to do. Well, you told me some stories about how you were able to swim and do things
Well-
physically that other people would just dream about being able to.
We treaded water one time for like 2 hours
Wait
or
a minute,
one.
wait, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
we were in the
Treading
pool.
water.
Yeah, we're in the pool doing stuff. We run to the pool.
That's crazy.
But dude, I was like, okay, so you know how I was like really fit at my job school. I was beating everybody at everything. When you got to that unit, everybody
Everybody was like,
was yes, yeah.
that was
No, I was like
this unit.
not even. Yeah, I was not even in good shape compared to these guys.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
And they were like, I was just a support guy, a logistics guy. I wasn't like an operator.
What I'm trying to lead up to here is
Yeah.
how this has prepared you for your martial arts career, which is like 10 years later, right? After you got out of the military.
Really, the whole martial arts thing really started when I was young. For movies,
Okay, watching movies.
watching movies. My dad, he did judo with, I think he got in a little bit of trouble and had like I want to say like a probation officer when he was like really young or something.
really?
Yeah, like a juvenile version or something. It was a female, and she was teaching him some judo. and stuff. And he was always
So you
in the
learned a
streets.
little bit of martial arts when you were young.
Well, he was always in the streets fighting and stuff too, and he was always like having me like, and he did like the tough man contest and
Gotcha.
stuff. He was always having me like punch his fists. You know what I mean? We would always like do stuff. It wasn't like really like high end training, but he was always having me do stuff. And I would watch like Steven Seagal movies,
Gotcha.
and like was fascinated by all that stuff. And then as soon as the UFC started, he brought home like tapes, and they were when I was pretty young, and they were tapes of like UFC 1, UFC 2, all that stuff. So I was always interested in it. But then when I was in the Marines, I got a little bit more of a taste of it, of some martial arts.
So let me bring the audience
Yeah.
up to speed just
Yeah.
a little bit. Cody
Yeah.
Lemons is a black belt in the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu world, which is not an easy feat. Only about 1 out of 1,000 students ever become a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So by itself, it's a huge accomplishment. He's also my coach at my school here in Springfield, Missouri. So I wanted to kind of give a background of how, as a young man and how he came through these ranks to have the mindset and the physical talent to become who he became today. So he's about 39, 38 years old, is that right?
39, just 39.
So I want to bring it up to speed now to his jiu-jitsu career. So tell us how you joined into the martial arts world and your 10th Planet
that part. Yeah.
And bring us kind of up to speed over the last 11 years that you've been doing this.
Yes. So it started when I was in the Marines, though. So I went to Dan Henderson's school, and I was really busy while I was in the Marines.
Of course.
And so I was also just afraid of going into the martial arts school, because I was like, they're going to beat the shit out of me.
Right.
Is what I was thinking. And I'm going to have to, on top of that, deal with like PT in the mornings or working out, and I'm also going to, get the shit beat out of me.
You're gonna.
And so I would go there, and I would sit in the parking lot, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go in today. I'm going to go in today. And then I did that probably like 3 or 4 times, and I never went in. Right?
You just never went. You sat in your car.
Never went in. And not until I got back to Missouri, then I was like, okay, no excuses now. Now I'm going to do it. I have all the time. I was going to college.
Always in your head.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Get back
Always.
to Missouri, and then what happened?
And then I started calling around. As soon as I got back in like
calling
2000, this
around
was
or
2012. This was 2012 or 13.
You're calling more than you were online.
Yeah, because it was a different. I mean, there was a lot of stuff online, but everything's like, you have to be online now. Back then, it was like a blend, right? It was more of a blend. Now it's leaning more towards you got to be online or nothing. You know what I mean? But so, anyways, yeah, I called around, and I called one gym, and I won't say the name of the gym, but they didn't. They kept saying, "Oh, I'll call you back. I'll call you back."
I'll call you back.
And I was like, okay. So I was like, I'm not, I was like, I'm not going to train there if they won't even.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. So then I see a little sign on the side of the road that just says 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu and had like a phone number
10th
on
Planet
it.
Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah, I didn't know where the location was. I just had like a phone number on it. And so I called it, and they were like, yeah, come in this time. And it was in a little shopping center right behind where that sign was. I just couldn't see it. And it was a little hole in the wall gym.
A little hole in the wall.
Yeah, it was like this is a very small gym, but it's probably like this size, maybe even smaller. And so when I went in there, I was like, I didn't know anything about jiu-jitsu or anything, you know what I mean? But I went in there, and the first day, it was just like a purple belt teaching the class, but they still kicked my ass.
For the audience's benefit, a purple belt's about halfway to black belt.
Of course, blue belts kicked my ass. Everybody kicked my ass, but I wasn't like completely blown away yet until I rolled.
Super athletic to start with.
Yeah, until I rolled with our with a black belt who was out of town, and when he came back into town like a couple days later, and then I came to class. That's when I was like,
wow.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what?
What the heck?
Yeah, because he just did whatever he wanted to me. He just dismantled me.
Humbled you.
Yeah, I was very fit.
So
I was deadlifting like 500 pounds.
At that point, you were super impressed with the whole idea of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I was deadlifting
martial art, yeah.
I was deadlifting like 500 pounds, And this guy with the beer gut was just like slowly, I was like giving him my all, and he was just slowly, very slowly, not even breathing hard at all, just did whatever.
So you were sold.
It was impressive. Yeah, I was like, oh, wow. I was like, okay. Then it got its hooks into me. But I didn't have high aspirations.
Well, not initially, maybe.
Initially, I just wanted to, like a lot of people, just learn the basics, learn how to defend myself.
Well, self-defense, right?
Yeah.
Which is half of the gig. Self-defense and also sport.
Yeah.
So speaking of sport, you started doing some competitions.
Yeah.
Tell us how that went.
I mean, it went okay.
You can brag, it's okay.
No, it went okay. Like I've done for a guy only training, 2-3 times a week. Did fairly well. For only training.
More than fairly well.
Yeah.
You just don't want to brag on yourself.
Yeah, did fairly well, but no, I lost here and there.
Well, you're always going to lose some.
Yeah.
For every down there's an up. But then
Yeah.
what happened? As you got more into it and got more experience after a few years,
Oh,
started winning everything.
well, not everything, but I won a lot.
You won a
I
lot.
won a lot, but I figure like most of these guys that I'm winning against are hobbyists like me too. You know what I mean? They're not like professional jiu-jitsu guys. A lot of these guys I'm beating. You know what I mean? And then I went into some just out of shape. I didn't care. I just like doing it, even win or lose.
So bringing yourself all the way up to speed now, how do you feel about yourself and your career and where you're at now and your coaching experience? And how you feel as a coach and getting your black belt? How did that feel?
It's mine. Well, I'll tell you this because back in high school, I didn't really think I was gonna do much with my life. Yeah.
What did you figure you were gonna do?
Because I didn't make very good grades.
Oh, I see.
In high school, I did my freshman year. I made A's and B's my freshman year.
After that,
it slowly went downhill, and so I was like, I thought I was just going to end up working like fast food or something. I was like so, I felt like, oh, dude, I'm not on a good path, and that's also why I joined. I ended up saying, okay, what am I going to do? That's why I joined the Marines too. But then I never thought I would be like, a jiu-jitsu coach and like all this stuff.
Well, how do you feel about being a coach now and having your own gym and having?
Oh, I think it's great.
Promoting your own students to their ranks.
I used to think when I was, back when I was younger, that, money was like success, kind of. You know what I mean?
But now,
not even at all.
How do you view success?
Not even at all. I view it like, I couldn't do. Let's just say I wouldn't want to do a factory job, where I'm just making somebody a bunch of money. You know what I mean? Like, you are helping. No matter what, you're a part of a society helping your community, right? Even if you're working in a factory. But, I just like helping people.
That's the key, isn't it?
Yes.
You're having an impact.
There's nothing more like gratifying. Yeah, gratifying than doing that. Even just one person, you see them change, and you see them become a confident person.
Knowing that you played a role in that as a coach.
Oh yeah, it takes them making that commitment. So it's really mostly them, but I'm kind of like their guy.
You're facilitating that process for them.
Yeah,
you're their leader.
But I never thought I was going to be that guy. We had a great coach when I first started. You know what I mean? Well, as far as knowing jiu-jitsu goes, and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to be under this guy. I didn't think I would ever be, and then
now you're that guy.
Yeah, things.
11, 12 years later.
People left, people quit, people, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, I'm just the guy left.
And
they kept
by the
training.
way, 80% of all students do quit. That's a sad thing to say, but it's reality in the martial arts business.
Yeah.
And I know Cody takes it personal whenever people don't come back, but it's not his coaching. It's just that people get distracted in life and they have all kinds of excuses. And I get it. It's not an easy process.
Yeah.
But once you're hooked, you're hooked. And Cody knows that because I've been his student for a long time too. So
yeah.
Easy, everybody would do it. Right? Is that the saying?
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's not easy, especially to do it every week. You know what I mean? To do it come in.
Take some breaks here and there.
You know, I've hardly taken any breaks, but it's just because I have such a passion for it.
Well, when I say breaks, maybe a weekend here and there, maybe not like a month or two. I'm talking about a few days here and there break.
Yeah. I think most people, the idea of a break is they'll take like a month off. But me, I'm like, a break?
You've never done that.
No. A break for me is like
a couple days.
One day.
Yeah.
One day. So I'll take one day off.
Cody's not going to toot his own horn, but I will for him. He's a great coach. He's very, 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 very knowledgeable of BJJ, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And the students that do stick around love him, have a lot of respect for him. And this is why I want to do this kind of a podcast. I want to be able to bring people in to the studio and express themselves. And if they won't do it, I'll do it for them. Because this is motivation as well. Our other podcast is all about motivation. But really and truthfully, this podcast is about motivation too, in the sense that when we bring in interesting people that are successful to share their stories, everybody wins. The guest wins, the audience wins, and that's what I want. I want this to be that kind of a thing where everybody comes out on top. So, maybe any closing thoughts, Mr. Lemons and Brent? You want to say something?
No. Glad you were able to join us for the very first one. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts, sir?
Any closing thoughts? No. No,
you're
the closer.
To the audience all around the world?
You're the closer. No.
He is.
Yeah, I'm just the interesting guest.
Ron, you say this every once in a while, the Jewish saying to help one person?
Yeah, the old Jewish saying is to help one person is as if to have helped the whole world. And, from my own personal experience, Cody's helped me so much in the martial arts business. So I appreciate so much.
It's my favorite thing to do.
What you've done to help me.
Yeah.
And which has given me a lot of confidence in my business life and allows me to be able to do something like this without hesitation. The confidence that Brazilian Jiu Jitsu will give you if you guys ever decide to join wherever you're at in the world is dramatic. And it's very real. So I say that to say this.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody watching, tuning in, and there'll be more of these podcasts as we go along. So until next time, peace out.
That's the